Welcome everyone. My name is Joana Pinto and I am a program manager at Zigurat Global Institute of Technology. This 2021 is a very special year for Zigurat. We celebrate our 20th anniversary that marks the passage of 2 decades giving leading-edge online training with live sessions. In these years, Zigurat has evolved a lot. We went from offering training focused on the construction sector to launching the Innovation and Digital Transformation School. Nowadays, we have more than 20 master's degrees of both disciplines in 3 different languages, English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Over the years, the training offered by Zigurat is not the only thing that has grown. Our multicultural environment has grown too, with students from more than 90 nationalities, and our desire to continue advancing and giving our best has grown with us. Every year, we try to be more innovative, technological, and make a difference in our sector. And the creation of a specific IoT Masters this year is a clear example of this. IoT is revolutionizing the world. Its possibilities are immense and also its transversal application in a large number of sectors. And with such a potential, the possible repercussions of implementing the IoT solutions will go way beyond individual companies and contribute immensely to the evolution of the society. The Virtual IoT Lab Conference seeks to offer a panoramic view of this potential. We have invited 5 renowned experts to join us today. They will share their IoT technology development journeys and will show us how to add value to business models with both business and technical approaches of the subject. Thank you all for joining us and let the Virtual IoT Lab begin.
Hello, I'm oriolrius, a technologist and IoT expert with more than 20 years of experience in Industry 4.0. As a director of the Global Masters in Internet of Things at Zigurat, I can assure you that this program will give you the much needed complete perspective, combining both business and technical approaches. While it is focused on product design and manufacturing, it also provides a multidisciplinary and transversal vision of the subject. You will be able to create basic prototypes, find proper sensors, gateways, and IoT platforms. You will learn to send data to the cloud to extract value from it, and to select the best cybersecurity measures. This Masters is the impetus your business model needs to make the difference. This Masters is the impetus you need to make the difference. I hope to see you soon. Hello and welcome everyone. Here we are. I am oriolrius and I am with Jaume Rey. Hello, Jaume.
Hello everyone.
In a few seconds, I'm going to introduce Jaume formally. But let me introduce our session today. We are going to talk about overcoming barriers to IoT implementation. As I said, I am oriolrius. I am an IoT consultant, passionate of technology since I was 9. I spent most of my life creating companies and working with technology. And currently my life motive is sharing knowledge, experience, and creativity. And because of that, I'm here today as an director of this IoT master of Zigurat. Jaume, please introduce yourself.
Yes, hello, my name is Jaume Rey. I'm the managing director of Nexiona, a company dedicated 100% to IoT for the last 9 years. And basically there is 3 sentences that defines myself, and that's the sharpest and fastest way to explain who I am. There is no other way than, there is no other fate than the one that we make for ourselves. That's what John Connor was saying in the Terminator movie. So I only believe in things that are the result of our decisions in our life. Profit is the reward of society. And this is the slogan, one of the slogans of Konosuke Matsushita, the founder of Panasonic. I truly believe that if what we do has any value, we will make money. And people is the only competitive advantage that can't be copied. So that's what makes the difference in the teams, the people, and the passion of everyone. I've been 14 years in Panasonic as executive in Spain and in Europe in the B2B space, and 9 years already doing IoT 100% for these last 9 years, and IoT and Industry 4.0. And I'm very happy, and I want to thank you, Oriol, for giving me the chance to be here today.
And Jaume, I forget to say something about us, no? We spent, I think it was 4 years, 5 years together?
5 years, 5 years.
Yeah, working on Nexiona together.
Yes.
Growing up this company.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that epoch of my life.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
It was great. Honestly.
Yeah, happy to see you here today. But it's time to start with the session.
Okay.
Let me introduce the barriers, those barriers that we have to overtake in some way for being successful with IoT projects. Let me enumerate them, and later Jaume and me are going to go deep with those barriers. First of all, business return of investment is one of those barriers that I have to enumerate. The second one is people. Okay, as you know, if people is not engaged and committed to be successful in anything with your company, it's not going to happen. So people, it's very, very important in that stuff. Yeah. And thirdly, we have security, one of those threats that are always in all conversations about cloud, about IoT and all that stuff. And finally, we have how to integrate legacy things, how to integrate those things that are already installed in the field. Jaume, please let us know a little bit more about how to be successful with that return on investment in IoT projects.
Okay, thank you, Oriol. Well, I think the main barriers in return on investment, keep one thing in mind. When a company has to make an investment, whoever, the technical director, the CTO, the production director, or the marketing director, whoever who's leading that project, at the end of the day, he has to go or she has to go to the financial director and the CEO and explain what that investment has any meaning. And normally, what the main barriers people is facing is that the first one is that normally the proof of concept are so limited, so small, that do not have much sense themselves alone. So monitoring one machine probably has no meaning if you cannot exchange this data of this machine maybe with another system in your company. So sometimes the POCs are so, let me say, ridiculously small that has no any meaning, neither financially speaking. Then it's very difficult to defend that in front of the customers.
Let me interrupt you.
Yeah, sure.
Let me ask something about that those small POCs. Can we talk, instead of POCs, will be better to talk about small projects than POCs? Yeah,
thank you. I think it's an even better definition, Oriol. Actually, it's normally what it happens. You and me have been facing this for years when we started the company and the business. So many people say, yeah, we want to try it, but let's start with something small. And sometimes it's that small that it even is lacking of sense, of financial sense. So that's why it's so difficult to defend financially those kind of things if they don't have a real impact on the business. And to have a real impact on the business, normally the investment should be bigger. But people is scared to make bigger investments because if they make it wrong, then they will lose much money. But if they don't make it big, it has no sense. So it's a chicken and egg situation that is very difficult to break. And that's why it's so critical to be thinking about that. Another aspect is data quality. So, nearly 70% of the companies out there, they don't know what to do with the data. So yes, collecting data is very nice.
But store everything, no, Jaume? But the best is store everything. Who knows?
Yes. So it's very difficult. People has plenty of data, but then they don't know what to do with it. How to make it interactive between them? How to make analytics among them? So it's really that people. It's thinking, okay, this proof of concept or this small project is too small. Maybe it has not much sense. The quality of the data is very sensitive, and if they don't see that the quality of the data is right, then they start to be doubtful about the results, about the outcomes of the project. So then they start to be, let's say, putting themselves away of the project. And then, it's really hard to forecast savings without an actual implementation, because sometimes there is hidden savings that you don't realize about them at the first sight. So it's very, very, very critical that don't make your decisions just on thinking, and forecasting. And that's why we will talk now about how to overcome those three barriers, or these three ROI barriers, which is what we are going to explain in the next slide. Oriol, please. Thank you. So the easiest way to overcome these situations are, first, when you think about a proof of concept or a small project, don't think about what is easier to do. Look for the quick wins, which has higher impact on your profit and loss statements, who has a higher impact in the savings, who has a higher impact on adding sales, increasing sales. Don't think on the technology. Think truly how you can add more value to your customers. Because this is the fastest way to success. Understanding where you can add more success, more value to your users, to end users, to your customers, and then based on that, define which is the right project or the right proof of concept.
Yeah. From your words, Jaume, I think we can extract the third point that we have here, no?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about technology. You have to be flexible in those technology decisions, no? Because today we are talking about LoRa, and maybe tomorrow the key technology is going to be 5G. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
No, it doesn't matter. The important thing here is we are talking about business, and this is about the profit, because in the other way, nothing makes sense.
Absolutely. And that's why this is it's a very nice link to the second point, which is then, because of these two reasons, it's very important to find the right partner. It's very important to find the right company that will accompany you through all that trip. It's critical to find partners that do not lock you down. One of the most common concepts in the digital world is the lockdown customers. How to lock your customers to you and secure that they will remain with you. In the world of IoT, in the world of technology, it's the opposite. You truly need to be free to change technology, free to change direction, free to move from one action to another, free to move to one service to another, and find partners and find suppliers who can give you that freedom. And this is critical, because that can really kill your business if you make it wrong. If you make at the beginning a choice, keep in mind that you are innovating. So probably you will be changing in your approach during the process. So you need to have choices that allow you to change your mind. Not to say, okay, I made that choice and this is for the next 20 years. Then it's game over. You have to find a way to be flexible.
Completely agree.
Yep.
And of course, the best that we can expect in those situations is action. Do things. Things. Doesn't matter how many Excel spreadsheets do you have. Doesn't matter how good or nice are your PowerPoint presentations.
Yes.
Please go out and connect things and experiment, analyze, and retrospective, and retry and try and try.
Look, it's amazing. It's amazing you mentioned that, because we just won recently a project. I cannot disclose the name of the customer yet, unfortunately, but we just won a project that the customer has been analyzing the thing to do for 2 years. Meanwhile, their competitors have been already launching things, trying, getting feedback from customers, etc. So the competitors are already maturing their proposal, while these guys, they were just thinking and thinking and thinking. But well, that's part of the reality of IoT.
Yeah, and then another barrier, people, no, Jaume?
Yes, and that's actually, I think probably that's the toughest. Because, as you said many times, you can program a PC to do what you want, but you cannot program people.
Suddenly, maybe.
Yes, you are right. You are very right. So it's what's the main barriers on people? The first one is the mindset of the people. So if people see IoT as a threat for them, if people see IoT as a way to reduce their value in the organization, if the people see that, hey, this is the typical thing from the people of R&D or from the people from IT or from the people from production, but this is not related to us, that put people away from the project. If people is away from the project, you will never succeed. Because the only way to be successful is when all the companies aligned. So it's very, very, very critical, the mindset of the people. Also, the know-how available. In-house and outdoor. I mean, it's really difficult to find people because, inside of your company who can lead that kind of projects. Because, if you have been manufacturing steel during the last 25 years, nobody was expecting to connect a steel factory to internet or to make data analytics. So you have been creating a superb team for doing steel, for producing steel, but not for doing IoT or for connecting things or for analytics. So a main challenge is how to create the know-how inside of the company, and also how to find the right suppliers, because nowadays, the majority of your suppliers are the common suppliers that have been with you for your regular business. So probably they are very strong in IT, maybe they are very strong in operation technologies, maybe they are very strong in business analytics, maybe they are very strong in communication. But one supplier who can put together a solution that involves all these things together is not that easy.
Correct.
And finally, there is not much, let's say, business-ready education out there. It's very difficult to find places where you can go and learn based on really business reality. And that's that's difficult to find.
Yeah, let me say something here. Because of that, at the end of the day, I accepted the challenge of creating this master, to be a director of this master in IoT, because I've not seen what I understand, in my humble opinion, after maybe about 20 years connecting things. This is not what the market needs. And finally, if you don't agree with something, just do it. If you disagree, then do it.
It's the best way to change it. Change it by yourself.
Yes. Okay, more people solutions, Jaume.
Yeah, I will try to go fast because I know that they have many good things to explain. The easiest way, try and error, try it, and iterate. Start small and iterate. Let the people learn. Let the people make mistakes and motivate people if they make mistakes. Don't worry, we are learning. We are all learning. So don't worry. Feel free to make mistakes. Please don't repeat the mistakes, but feel free to make mistakes. And as you say many times, Oriol, there's no innovation without failure. If innovation were just based on doing it right at the first time, then it would not be innovation, because there is so many times that you make it wrong, but that helps you to learn. It's very important that you share what you are doing, a project inside of your company, with everybody, because sharing creates commitment. If you feel outside of the project is a threat for you. If you share the project with the rest of the people feels part of the project. And then they are happy to join it and help as much as possible.
Yeah.
It's important to avoid that jobs becomes a commodity, because if that's the case, it's important to help that people to make them understand how they can add value, because they have the knowledge, they have the know-how how to do that specific task. But then they can help to, let's say, make more rich the solution. And then we can help them also to learn from what we are doing together to move to the next step on skills, on abilities, on doing something with higher value. It's critical to be brave. When you are the CEO of a company, it's critical to be brave appointing the leader of the project. Because, sometimes people say, the CEO, okay, this is IoT, it sounds like IT. Okay, the director is going to be the leader of the project. And maybe this could be the worst decision ever. So it's important to find the people who can be sensitive, who can be passionate about leading that project. Even maybe it's not their main, let's say, skill, but if they have the passion and the will to make it be successful, probably you will go faster and farther than if you appoint the wrong person. And same happens with the suppliers. We know that it's easier to go to your common suppliers. Yes, but probably here, or for sure here, you have to find new suppliers, new technologies, new approaches, new solutions, new suppliers. And definitely IoT is something transversal. It applies to everybody, applies to all over the company. And the knowledge, it needs to be collected from everybody and needs to be shared with everybody.
Yeah, let me open some words with maybe extracted from your ideas to be clear with something that for sure we agree about that. IoT, it's about innovation. IoT, it's about disruption. It's at the end of the day, we are talking about new money. So you cannot be conservative with your ideas. If you pretend to be step by step and be secure in all those steps, this is not going to be your path with IoT. Because we are connecting at the end of the day, the cyber-physical wall. And this is not a minor thing. So this is a big challenge. We are spending a lot of resources about that. And one of those threats that come when we are doing that connectivity, it's security.
And here you come, my friend. This is your expertise, among others.
Yes. Okay, about security barriers. At the end of the day, we cannot avoid that distinction, because when we talk about IoT, we are talking about two types of security: physical security and cyber security, or you can say the security of the data and privacy related with that data. Okay, so we have to distinguish those two things, and this is very important because in IT, that physical security maybe makes no sense. I'm not 100% sure, but I think makes no sense. But let me go to, for instance, in a concrete case. In this case, we are talking about, for example, connected car or autonomous car. Okay, it's a common case of IoT. Okay, and then inside the car we have sensors. We have a lot of data that we capture thanks to those sensors, and we have to send that data to the cloud. Okay, then all the sensors, all the CPUs, computers, whatever it's inside the car could be hacked. Okay, could have a security threat. Okay, then if this car is connected to internet, that connectivity could have a breach for sure. Okay, then why do we need that connectivity? Because we want to store that amount of data, which is not a minor thing, it's a huge amount of data. We want to store that data in a data lake in a cloud. Okay, what we have here called big data. Nice. So that cloud storage could be a security threat again.
Could be hacked. Yeah.
Yes. Then again, next step. The next step usually in the connected car is going to be the machine learning applied to the data received in the data lake. Okay, then that connectivity and the machine learning process by itself could be a security threat again. And the last step in that round, in that example, is deep learning. Again, the connectivity to the deep learning and the deep learning connectivity to the card could be hacked, and the deep learning by itself could be hacked. So, security issues could come from everywhere, from each step, and it doesn't mean you don't have to play that game. It means you have to take care in all those steps, and you cannot go ahead avoiding or analyzing the risks involved in your, let me say, process or in your solution at the end of the day, okay? Because it's really fun when you see, Jaume, for sure, those budgets that says, okay, do that, and at the end, apply security. At the end?
Yes. As in case there is some money remaining, please do security.
No, security it's from the very beginning.
It's critical. It's critical.
Yes. Involve expert security guys from the very beginning of the project, not in the middle or at the end, from the very beginning.
Absolutely.
Okay? As a listeners, if you want, because sometimes they can be haters. Okay, they can be really difficult to manage them. Okay, but at least give them the chance to be aware of what you are doing. Okay, solutions about that, about physical security. A car can kill people. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. So be awareness, okay? Take care, because we are talking about doing things with physical things, with physical objects. Yeah. So awareness, okay? And after that, double check.
Okay. I like that one.
Okay, it's not enough to be awareness. We are talking about not damaging people. And this is critical. Yes. Okay, this is critical. It's not a warning. It's not important. It's not it's critical. Okay, and if you need some help in that stuff, you have security standards. And when you are innovating, you have to assume that you are not going to have enough security standards for supporting your ideas. And here is where you have to be brave, as Jaume said before. Because if there is no security standards, it means someone has to start creating those security standards.
Correct.
It has to be you.
Correct.
Okay, let me jump to the cybersecurity stuff. When we talk about cybersecurity, at the end of the day, we are talking about the data security and the privacy of that data. Okay? This is something well known in IT security practices. So go there and understand how IT people secure their systems, because whatever they do applies here. Okay?
100%.
And there is a lot of standardization standards like ISO 27001. A lot of processes, a lot of good practices, a lot of recommendations. So it's not optional. You have to follow them.
and on top of that, you have to be aware that there is different markets on different verticals, we call it, that have their own regulations. If you go to pharma industry, if you go to health industry,
automation.
So then it's really have to be aware of all these things. And I mean, saying I didn't know is not an answer.
No, not at all. And then take care with legacy devices, because they have to be compatible with modern security practices.
Yes.
And if you cannot guarantee that in some of your devices, please replace it, because it's going to be a breach in a mid-long term.
Yep.
And teach people also, okay? And help people to understand how to follow those, let me say, good practices about security. Because at the end of the day, 90% of the time, it's people who make mistakes, okay?
Yes.
And so help them to avoid those mistakes. And because I worked a long time on IoT and in IoT security and IT security by itself, I have 3 principles that I want to share with you. The first one is security is just a perception. Actually, it doesn't exist. So something that it doesn't exist, it doesn't mean you don't have to take care of it. It means it's difficult to measure. So it's a sensation, but as we said before, awareness and double check.
Yeah.
And then the next one, IT security is about processes, not about hacking. For sure, you are going to read in newspapers and in a lot of press news about hackers, about data leaks, and I don't know. To be honest with you, I can bet that you are going to have a security breach in your business. And I can bet this is going to be because of a human mistake, not because of a technical mistake or an issue of technology.
Completely.
Okay? Yeah, keep a device with a default password is not a design problem of the device. It's a, and how can I say that? It's a problem of the technician who has to configure that.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the real risk. Who wants to change that? Okay. The last one. There is no security without software update. Software has bugs. Always. Always, always, and always. There is no software without bugs. So it's critical in your IoT design, in your IoT solution, to provide a way of updating software. Doesn't matter if it's online or offline or whatever, but provide a method, a methodology, a process for updating the software and the firmware of your devices. Let me give you a present at this point. I have something that I want to give you at this point. Some time ago, I created this checklist. You can download the checklist in the URL that you have here, url.joo.net CSC. This is a cloud security checklist that you can apply in a lot of IoT projects, especially if they are connected to the cloud. And it's just a simple checklist of things that you have to validate that you follow or comply in some way the requirements for being in at least in theory, secure solution, at least in theory. And the last point that I want to share with you, it's about integrating legacy. Okay, we are not going to connect in IoT only new devices. We have a huge legacy of things around us. For example, when we talk about domotics, when we talk about connecting your home, you already have an electrical installation. You are not going to change everything bottom up because you want to be connected to the cloud for remote control, for sure. And then you have to provide whatever is necessary for connecting that legacy, okay? And there is no standard for integrating that legacy things. So later we are going to see some solutions, but there is no official way of doing that. And then monitoring and telecontrol of legacy systems and processes is a real challenge on most of the projects. So the real barrier that you have to overtake in some way in your projects is how to connect the legacy that you already have installed in your factory, in your business, in your home, whatever. You are going to play with that.
I mean, just to add a very short comment. I mean, connecting a very brand new hardware, anyone can do that. The difficulty is that 99% of the world was already there before IoT started. And it's this 99% of the world that needs to be connected. And it's things that were not developed, neither created to be connected. So then it's how we can extract data from there. And this is definitely one of the main challenges. All the ones we are mentioning are definitely critical, but this is one of the I would say, the heavy ones.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, connect brand new hardware, as you said, Jaume, it just follow a tutorial or a manual that the manufacturer provides. But this part, I mean, connect or integrate the legacy is about creativity, about having a world-class team motivated.
Absolutely.
And this is the only antidote for avoiding failure of that connectivity or of that integration. There is no magic.
Completely.
Something.
Yeah, completely. It's when somebody come and say, hey, we would like to connect this machine that is 25 years old and never ever was expected to be connected because it's working, totally isolated there and doing its own thing, but we need to extract the data from there. Then as Oriol says, it's really about having a world-class team people that knows about hardware, firmware, communication, all these things, how to extract data from things. And this is really a huge challenge.
Let me go deep in this point because we are agree, which is one of the critical ones. Jaume, maybe you remember that customer that we had in the past, that they have thousands of machines in 20 or 30 countries for decades. And they wanted to monitor all of those machines. And when we asked about the PLCs that those machines had, and the customer said, I have no idea. Come on, how many of them? No, I don't know, maybe 25, maybe 30 different types of PLCs. And then how we can integrate all that stuff. Then creativity.
Yes. No,
that is a solution.
it's in engineering. It's a Latin word that comes from engine, that in Latin means being smart. I think it's Latin, and in Latin. So then it's really what you need. You need people who can imagine things and can create solutions that are not obvious.
Yes, and then something that can help you, it is the message brokers here. And some standards like MQTT, which is an ISO standard, or OPC UA, which is an automation standard for future factories, let me say this way, or for connecting smart factories. And those standards will allow you to create small silos. And inside those silos, maybe you have the legacy completely isolated with the rest of the world. And thanks to those standards, you have the chance to extract the data in a particular way, in an ad hoc solution, and then provide in a standardized way that data to the rest of the world. This is just a small trick that I wanted to share with you in this point. But this is our last slide, Jaume. This is some inspirational words that we decided to type for the audience. Okay, let me read some of them. IoT is about connecting cybernetic and physical world. Don't forget that. Seems basic, but sometimes people forget those basics.
Yes.
And nobody said that it's going to be easy, but for sure it's going to happen. And we have seen that, isn't it, Jaume?
Completely. And it's clear that the future is going to be more connected than the past.
Yeah. And the question is, would you like to take part of it? Or do you want to be late? What's your choice? No?
Yes. As everything in life, it's about our choices. It's about our decisions. I mean, there's no other fate than the one we make for ourselves, as I said at the beginning. So we are the result of our decisions. And being now in this presentation, being now here today with us, definitely demonstrates that you are a curious person and you are thinking that definitely you don't want to be late. So thank you for being here.
Yeah. And related on that, Jaume, they have the chance from now to ask questions about what we explained, about our slides, about whatever concept that we shared with them. So feel free to ask in the chat whatever that you consider it's interesting, and Jaume and me will be more than happy to try to help you on whatever you ask. And nothing else from my side. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Jaume.
Thank you, Oriol, for giving me this chance. See you soon. Cheers. Bye.
It connects you with what's going on in the industry across the world.
Para mí, Student Week ha sido un apalancamiento para los negocios.
I've met a lot of people, I've made friends. As I did mention, I also did networkings for my future.